All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this. This is Anthony Rosa, Finance Coach with Fresh Start Advancement. Today, you are watching another broadcast episode, and I have some special guests here today. We're going to be talking today about, are you buying a fixer-upper or renovating in today's real estate market? And we're going to be talking about the top 10 questions of the day. So to help us, we have the money person, Elizabeth Tapia with Guaranteed Rate. Say hello, Elizabeth.
Hey, Anthony, how
And
you doing?
of course, how you doing? Welcome. Good afternoon. Good to see you again. And so we have Randy Ray. He's our realtor that's going to be showing us how we can go through this whole buying process. And
Yeah,
he's going to give us some tips and tricks. So Randy, welcome back and thank you for joining us.
absolutely. Thank you for having me here, Anthony. Good to see you again, Elle, as well. Back for some more insight, tips, and tricks on real estate investing.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're going to jump right into it. We're talking about, are you buying a fixer-upper or renovating? And I think, Elizabeth, you're going to be talking to us a little bit about the difference between a 203K and a conventional rehab loan, right?
Yes, that's what we're going to be discussing today.
Awesome. Let's jump right into it.
Okay, so my name is Elizabeth Tapia. I work for Guaranteed Rate. Right now, we're trying to offer options for this market that is a little bit more challenging than before. So the big thing is about 203Ks. I do want to say 203Ks are a little bit complex, like to do it. They won't even offer the program. The beauty about Guaranteed Rate is that they have experts from the vice presidents, loan officers, to the processors, to the underwriters, and the closers. So everybody's an expert with 203Ks or conventional rehab loans. I myself am going to share some basics. I am partnered with an expert that does the only rehab loans. So once you are partnered with somebody that does the process becomes a bit more easier. Okay.
Okay,
So
Elizabeth. So
first question
I know
is,
we're going to be doing a game show like questionnaire, right? So we're going to be going back and forth with you and Randy. I want to make sure I tie this back in. You know, we want to have some fun and keep high energy, right? So the first question is, what can be fixed with a 203K loan? Elizabeth.
awesome question. Anything can be fixed with a 203K loan except luxuries. The main things that have to be fixed is anything that is hazardous. That's a priority. Chipping paint, broken windows, missing handrails, anything cosmetic that can be included. Now, what does luxury repairs mean? That means like elevators, new pools, outdoor kitchen, for example. So those type of things cannot be included in the 203K, but yes, on the conventional end. So that can be included there. Okay. I'm going to give you an example, and thank you for sharing my screen, of renovation.
So
What type of items are going to, how much they're going to cost, and at the end, how much they're going to cost you monthly. For example, some of the top 5 renovations, kitchen. Somebody wants a kitchen, very nice kitchen. It may cost them $77,000. What does that mean? It means that the monthly payment will go up probably $402. That's based on a kitchen of $77,000 and above, or $77,939. The next item that on our top list, is always the bathrooms. Bathrooms may cost you an estimate of $24,606. That's an estimate. That's a monthly payment of $127. So
Elizabeth, what you're saying here is on the 203K loan, these are the cost breakdown, or is this for conventional? Just to be clear.
Yes. Thank you. This is for 203K or a conventional. And these are just estimates, because you can upgrade your kitchen on a 203K and a conventional. You could do these items on both type of loans. I'm just giving our clients an idea of how much more their monthly payment will be. So
So
they
if you
may
have a
find a
fixer
house
upper,
and think,
so if you have a fixer upper or you're renovating, you can do construction inside the house for a 2 or 3K loan.
yes, you can upgrade your kitchen, you could upgrade your bathroom, or put a new kitchen or a new bathroom. um, Hardwood flooring. Sometimes people get a little scared about the floor; they're not looking too good. So I'm just giving them an idea of what
Right.
the cost may be and how
Very
much at
good.
the end the breakdown is going to be.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, on
Okay,
that first
so
question.
basement. Some people want that finished basement. So
So those that
okay,
are
definitely.
in the market and those that are looking to buy want to be mindful on a 2 or 3K looking into it. So thank you so much. That's a great loan product to look for. Randy, I have a first question for you.
All right.
Should I buy a fixer upper or instead of waiting for my dream home? So dream home, fixer upper. What
Yeah.
should we do?
This is a great debate. It's been going back and forth forever. And in the current market, it really is an opportunity that I think a lot of folks need to consider. I have clients that are looking for that 4 bedroom, 3 bath, already done, ready to move in, turnkey. And you know what? In today's market, that's just not realistic. So with the shortage of available houses and rising prices, finding the dream home at an affordable price can be challenging. But if you open your mind and you're receptive to purchasing a fixer upper, this really, really opens up a lot of opportunity to not only get a house, but to personalize a property to your liking, which can also, a side benefit would be that you're potentially increasing the value over time. So, however, it is crucial to assess the extent of the renovations needed. You need to know what you're investing in. So numbers like what Elle just shared for a kitchen is absolutely essential to know and understand. We can incorporate that into the financing, purchase the home as is, have the renovation take place, and you're paying one mortgage price. So I think people just really need to be more open-minded about the possibility of a fixer-upper rather than waiting indefinitely for that perfect dream home that may never materialize. That's what I think about in today's market.
So talking about the fixer upper, Elizabeth, thank you, Randy. What two types of fixer upper loans are there?
So in the 203K world, there's two. There's the standard and the limited. So the standard, we go by FHA guidelines, whatever the cap limit is per county, and any bid amount, including structural work and or 30,000 maximums, what we can go. But the limited is up to, I'm sorry, 30,000 and above. The limited is up to $30,000, and it has to include all the reserves up to 35,000. So the in essence, the limited is going to give you a little bit more relaxed requirements than the standard, because then the standard can be a lot higher.
Very good, very good. And of course, if you're watching this, we want you to like, comment, and share, engage with us, ask us questions as we are live at the moment. But if you're watching this on the replay, these conversations can definitely go in depth and there can be a ton of questions to go back and forth. We're just trying to answer these top 10 questions for today. And again, we're talking about buying a fixer upper or renovating in today's real estate market. All right, great. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. My next question for Ray is, what are the current trends in the housing market?
Great question. Okay. What I'm seeing basically, there essentially, I think, about three or so notable trends. There are definitely more, but some of the top three that come to mind. Firstly, there's a very high demand for housing, and due to factors like population growth, increased remote work opportunities, people working from home. That's one of the major factors, is that now people want to buy a house because now they're able to work home, spend more time at home. Secondly, there's a shortage of available homes for sale, leading to a lot of competitive bidding and rising prices. So because you have a lot more people looking for houses, it creates a lot of competition, and you have more people fighting for the same house that there used to be. So that's number two. Lastly, I see a shift towards suburban and rural areas as people are prioritizing more space and they really just want a quieter lifestyle. They want to be in a relaxed place. They don't want to be in a hustle and bustle, 24 hours a day. If it's bad enough if you're there when you work, then you want to come home, you want to be in a relaxing environment. So these trends indicate that now might be a really good time to consider real estate investment. It's essential to do your research, of course, and probably the best advice is to work closely with a knowledgeable real estate agent. That's really key at this stage of the game with today's current trends.
Right. And so there's so many trends, it's so hard to keep up with. One of the trends that I was looking at is looking at the sales of Home Depot and Lowe's. And I noticed that if contractors and sales were high, they were buying. If it was low, they weren't working. And, these are different, industry, hidden elements that if you had someone that's experienced, you can kind of know when or when not to get into. So thank you so much for talking about that.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, what is the biggest hurdle on the type of loans that we're talking about? We're talking about renovation loans, so 203K versus conventional. What is the biggest hurdle for those people that are in real estate that you're finding in your experience as a loan officer?
So thank you so much, Anthony. The one huge thing is to find a contractor, licensed and insured. Two things. Once you find that contractor that you're willing to work with, then you're great. Everything else is good. Because once you find a contractor, they know how to submit a bid with the breakdown of material and labor. So once they know how to do that and we submit that to the appraiser, then we're good. After that, remember, with the 203Ks, these renovation loans, once you close, then the work starts. We don't need to wait for the work to start and then close. We close and then they start. So that's the biggest hurdle.
And can you talk a little bit about on the 203K loan for the contractor, right? I'm a homeowner. I just bought my home or I'm in the process, right? And I want to go the 203K route. I find the contractor. Then what? Tell me about the contractor. The contractor has to carry some of that debt until the loan is approved to pay because it breaks down into tiers. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's another hurdle that homeowners go through.
Yep. So one thing is that and there's things I tell my clients that you're going to ask the same, even if the mortgage company wasn't there, we're kind of your partner. We want to make sure that you're getting a good contractor, that this contractor has references. Like if there's any jobs that he did, we're going to ask them, okay, what 3 jobs did you, let's call them. Let's make sure people are happy. We do a background check to make sure like there's nobody, suing them for any unfinished work. So those are the things. The other thing is they do need to have their own line of credit. So they can't ask up front, hey, give me $1,000 before I start the work. No, that's not going to work. And usually, if a contractor has been in business for a long time, they know they need to do the work and then get paid. So that's something that we do tell them up front. Don't think that we're going to give them something ahead of time. They need to start the work. So, and just remember is that once they do get approved, once the client closes, then the work starts. Now, if the client, let's say, for example, said, I want to get the kitchen done and I want the bathroom done. Maybe he starts the bathroom. The bathroom's going to cost, let's say, $12,000. So once he's done with the bathroom, then we'll say, okay, is the bathroom done? And this is why we have our own closing department that dedicates strictly to these type of loans. So they know, okay, bathroom is done, inspector needs to go out, check needs to go out. The check is usually made payable to the contractor and the clients. We need to make sure our client is happy. So they'll be able to endorse the check and say, okay, yeah, you're good to go.
So you're talking about
once that 12,000 is dispersed, done. Now let's the kitchen. So the kitchen, the same thing. Once it's done,
so you're talking about
the inspector out there, everyone's happy.
That's the process. So you have the process, yes, you're building out the house, you're going into different levels and you have to wait until the contractor gets paid. So the 203K loan is a very good product, but you definitely want to make sure that you have a licensed contractor that has good reviews, that they're not going to start the project, take the money and leave. which that does happen. So, Randy,
Yep.
my next question,
Yes.
is this a good time to invest in real estate?
Absolutely. This is actually a great time to invest in real estate, but it again depends on your specific circumstances and goals. I mean, obviously, if we had a situation like lower interest rates, it could really make financing accessible, and the potential for long-term appreciation exists in many markets. However, you got to do research. You got to look at the local markets, where are things trending. Check your financial readiness. Are you ready to make this purchase? Have you been in your job more than just a few months? Things of that nature. Is your debt situation under control? And if all that is yes, then yeah, real estate investment requires a lot of careful consideration. And so advise if you need a consultant, a financial consultant, you can do that. But you also need to get your hands connected with a real estate agent, a professional who can help you navigate this market, identify, some possible investment opportunities. Utilize the help of a real estate agent whenever possible if you're thinking about investing, because they've got tools that the average person simply does not have access to.
True. Like the MLS,
Yeah.
like understanding what is on the market, off market,
Exactly.
what was it sold for last year, even if like making sure that you do an inspection of the home,
Exactly. I mean, even the best websites, or what people interpret as the best websites, Zillow and Realtor.com and things of that nature, even they're not always up to date to the minute. When a house sells, it may not necessarily be reflected in a website such as Realtor.com, but your real estate agent can tell you with absolute certainty whether or not the house is in contract, whether it's or something is up and coming that is an early release. We get that access that the average person doesn't have. So definitely, you would be doing yourself a serious injustice going into this without the help of a professional real estate agent.
So it is a good time to buy.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Ellie, how fast can you close with a 203K loan?
Okay, so with the 203K loans, it all depends on the type of job that needs to be done. It can be done between 4 to 6 weeks. So I could have somebody that tells me, okay, I just want the roof done and maybe a door fixed, 2 items. So if that's the case, then we could probably do it in 4 weeks, because there's not going back and forth with the contractor and the appraiser of what's being done and how long it's going to, how much it's going to cost. Now, if I have a client that has little details on every floor, then yes, it's going to take a bit longer, because of the communication between the appraiser and the contractor has to put everything in writing and send it over to the appraiser. They have to factor that into the future value of the home. So it can be done between 4 and 6 weeks. I just want to clarify that. I have talked to a couple of realtors in the past, and they told me it was very complex. Again, it's because the bank that they were dealing with, they don't have experts on the field, so they're trying to figure it out. So it ends up taking much longer with them. So with Guaranteed Rate, we do have a team that's only dedicated to this type of loan, which makes the process flow much faster.
Right. And for those that are jumping a little bit later that are watching, again, we're talking about buying and investing in today's real estate market. We're talking about the top 10 do's and don'ts. These are the hidden elements that we would call in the industry. And so thank you so much. I mean, that can close rather quickly. But as we were talking about before, having a budget, having a proper timeline, having a good relationship with the contractor, and then making sure that you're following these deadlines. These are very important parts of this whole process. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. Randy.
Yeah.
Should I consider renting or buying in the
one more
current
thing.
market? Yeah.
I just wanted to add one more thing. Because this process is a little bit complex, we do have a team that is calling and bothering everybody and making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They do set themselves to some timing for every step of the way. So it makes them a little push and nudge everybody to do what they need to get done to meet our goal.
That's good to have that in-house. It speeds up the process. Thank you. So renting or buying in the current market, what are your thoughts?
Well, the decision to rent or buy really depends on a few factors. If you're going to be staying in the area for a very short period and you prefer that flexibility, then renting might be a better option for you. So if your job, for example, is relocating you to New Jersey to open up a shop, but you may not necessarily be there for more than a year or two,
Right.
renting is probably the best thing. But if you're looking for long-term stability, you want to build some equity, also take advantage of some tax benefits. Buying a home definitely would be the right choice for you. Um, you'd have a steady monthly mortgage payment, something that doesn't change every year, like rents could potentially be
It does.
going.
Rent increases every year. Yeah.
Rent increases every year. You don't have that with the mortgage. So there are definitely some perks to home ownership versus renting. Ultimately, you really need to just assess your financial situation, your long-term plans, lifestyle preferences, and make the best decision that you can.
Right. Yeah. So, again, as a finance coach, I talk about getting your credit ready, making sure that you have the down payment ready, making sure that your tax returns are ready. There's a conversation to prepare you. So, those that are renting right now, it's not too late. Sometimes people are worried and say, oh, the market this and the market that. Well, listen, the market is going to be like this for a little while, and you just got to find yours. And there are different loans that we're talking about here. Let's say rather than buying a dream home, you got a fixer upper and you use a 203K loan, and you don't have to spend $700,000 on a dream home. You spend $200,000 on a fixer upper. You spend $150,000 in it with the 203K loan, and you have your dream home for less than 500. Come on now.
And the value goes up.
The value goes up, so we have a lot of people that are joining us right now, and we're talking about buying and investing in the real estate market. And so we're talking about the top 10 questions in real estate. So Elizabeth, my next question for you: is the rate higher for a rehab loan? So those that are looking to buy and they don't want to buy their dream home, 600, 700,000, but they want to buy and they want to rehab. What is this all about? Is the rate higher? Talk to us.
So it is a higher risk loan. So I tell people upfront, yes, it is going to be higher. 52% of the people that purchase a home, they end up doing some kind of renovations after purchasing the home, and they're looking for home equity loans anyways. So if the equity is there, great. But what if the equity is not there? So this is a nice way to get in. You can always refinance at the end, but at least you're already getting the house of your dreams. The payment is factored into your mortgage payment. It's one payment just in case. So it is very convenient. The rate's a little bit higher, but definitely makes a difference, and is much less if you get a home equity, if you even qualify. Because I have so many clients that come back to me and they're like, oh, I need a new kitchen. Oh, you know what? I want a new bathroom. And the equity's not there. It's going to get there, but they just have to wait. So that's one good thing. I have a couple clients that get into this 203K, get everything, get all their items fixed, and after a year, refinance into a conventional loan, because also the value is much higher. And goodbye to mortgage insurance. So beautiful benefits about the 203K or the conventional line as well. We always have to weigh out and see which one gives the lowest payment to our clients.
Right. So let's say you buy a home, $300,000. You want to renovate the kitchen, the bathroom. We brought up a slide earlier about the cost of what it takes. And so let's say, my bathroom, my floors, $60,000. But I bought the house at $350,000. I'm doing a 203K loan to get the funds to cover the renovation of the house. And what you just said is the rate is a little bit higher, but at least you're going to get the money up front to do what you have to do. And then now you have a new appraised value. You have a house that's going to be appraised differently. When you go to refinance it, as long as you maintain a high credit score, right? You refinance it, you refinance that high rate, you go into a conventional, and you avoid the PMI, which is that preferred mortgage insurance. So yeah, this is exactly what we're trying to talk about here. And we understand now that, Randy, today's market is the right time to buy. So my last question for you, Randy: how can I compete in a competitive housing market?
Well, that is another excellent question. The way that I see that is, at first, to be proactive, and number two, to be prepared. All right, so here's a couple strategies I can think of right now. Let's get pre-approved for your mortgage so you're ready to go. All right, that demonstrates your financial readiness to sellers. So, you want to go see a few houses. There's a whole open house this weekend, 2 or 3 that we want to go see. And you find the house that you like, you think you can afford it, but you really don't know because you haven't got your pre-approval. You should not even be shopping at this point. You want to shop with something that you know you can comfortably afford. So having that pre-approval in hand lets you know before you even set foot in the door, well, this house is worth 450. My pre-approval is good for 500. I can certainly afford this house. Let's go take a look. That makes sense.
Right.
Secondly, working with a real estate agent can help you, again, navigate this really crazy market that we're in right now. Going at it alone is a recipe for failure. All right. Number 3, act swiftly. When you find the house that you want, be ready to pounce on it. Because if you don't, there are 100 other people right behind you waiting in line to do the same thing. So if you're not ready to take action, you're setting yourself up for failure. All right. Number
Good
4.
points. Yeah.
Number 4, a competitive offer can also represent itself in more than just a listing price. Maybe favorable terms, maybe the ability to close in a shorter time is something that would be a real key interest to the seller. Maybe they want to just sell that their family inherited house that they really can't manage. If they want to get it off the table quicker and you're ready to take action, that's something more favorable than somebody who's going to need a minimum of 60 days to get themselves prepped and ready and close the deal. So something thinking outside the box there. Lastly, be flexible. With your preferences, consider properties that may have the potential but aren't perfect on the surface. That again falls back into our big picture of what we're trying to do here, our rehab house. So just because the exterior may not be perfect should not deter you if the house has everything that you need. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a big backyard. This takes me back to one of my favorite home fixer-upper shows. And what they tell you to do is you don't buy the best house on the worst block. You buy the worst house on the best block.
I like that.
You renovate that house and your equity is going to skyrocket. And it's probably going to be the best investment that you can make.
That just said it right there. We're talking about using these type of loans to buy our dream homes, and rather than buying the best house on the worst block, buy the worst house on the best block.
That's it.
And definitely get your money's worth using a 203K loan that might be a little bit of a higher interest rate, but at least you get the money up front and then you can refinance that out. And so in a very short period of time, you can spend a fraction of the money for your dream home.
That's it. That's
so
powerful right there.
So powerful. So as we're rounding third base, we have some final thought segments. And so let's just kind of do a round robin, starting with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what are some of your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, vision. These days, we want our clients to have a vision. If you see the house that you like and the kitchen's not what you prefer, there's options. So there's options. Ray is awesome. Talk to him. He knows a lot about this. So talk to him, have the conversation. Bathrooms, anything you want, just talk to us and we can make it happen. It's all about communication. Our goal is to just put you in your dream home. It may not be your dream home. It may be your first home to the stepping stone to your dream home. So it could be step by step. But happy here to always answer any questions. And my name is Elizabeth Tapia. My phone number is 973-390-2815, available 24/7. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Randy, final thoughts.
Final thoughts on today's episode is probably going to boil down to just some planning. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So getting your partner in crime working together, if you're doing it solo, that's fine. Take some time. Think about what it is that is most important to you. Again, going back to renting versus buying, if it's something that you need temporary or if you're thinking long-term. When you're ready for that long-term decision, get the necessary help that you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Contact a real estate agent, contact a mortgage broker, get the finances in order, and then we can go shopping, find what you need, be ready to act.
Absolutely. And you know, my final thought sums it up in a quote. This is by Confucius, a philosopher. When the goal cannot be reached, do not adjust the goal, adjust the action steps. Well, you saw it here, folks. This is Anthony Rosa, finance coach with Fresh Start Advancement. And if you have any questions, you can always replay this and watch it over and over again. Or you could just comment or direct message us. Our information should be in the post. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Happy Father's Day this upcoming Sunday.
Right. Happy Father's Day, everyone.
All right. Enjoy, everybody. Go in peace. Talk
Take
to you
care.
soon.
See you next time.